Hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face, my card making space, and a non-holiday card. Although, after I was done this card, I was like, you could totally make it holiday. Just change the sentiment, really. Anyway, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. And if you're watching this when the video is fresh, as in the day it goes up and the day after, I do have a little exclusive code to share as well. That will be in the description box below. Did a bit of watercolor, used an embossing folder, splatter, of course, all the fun things. So it'll all be linked below. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps pay the bills, keeps some heaters running, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, let's get into making the card. So I am using the Build a Garden Hellebore Haven set. This set has a stamp set, coordinating die set, layering stencil set. There is also an embossing folder that goes with all of this that can be part of a bundle or separately. So I'll link to it. I did not use the embossing folder and I didn't use the stencils because this time I'm watercoloring. I do love me some layering stencils though. Yeah, they're all good. Everything's good. But I have been on a watercolor kick lately, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm using Altenew's hot press watercolor paper, which if you're familiar with watercolor paper, like if you've used different kinds and you understand the differences, and if you've used hot press before, this is not like other hot press. At least none that I've tried. And I've tried several. I'm actually not the biggest fan of most hot press watercolor paper. It's nice in the fact that it's very smooth, but I find it's kind of annoying to watercolor on. I get frustrated with most hot press watercolor paper, so I don't reach for it. However, Altenew's has more tooth to it. Like it's smooth, but it's not smooth like others. I don't know, it's almost kind of like the perfect in-between is the only way I can really describe it. I've used it a couple times in the past, and I'm like, every time I pull it out, I'm like, I really like this stuff. I like it. So I pulled it out for this because I wanted to heat emboss this image, and there's a fair bit of detail in it. So that's what I did. I stamped the floral image with clear embossing ink, and I heat embossed it with Altenew's Rose Gold Crisp embossing powder. So that way I've got those raised edges that I love. Because, every once in a blue moon, I'll do like some no-line watercolor when I'm feeling fancy or when I feel I have built up enough patience. That wasn't the case with this. I wanted the raised edges because I wasn't going to do no-line, and two, shiny. I like the shiny. I like the metallics, and this rose gold color is pretty. So after I heat embossed it, I'm using the Deep Muse watercolor compact little watercolor palette. I've used this in a live stream. I've used the other one that they released in December, the Moody Brights. I've used that one a couple times. I'm really liking these palettes. I'm just having fun with them. And I just have a little enamel coated tray. I also have the Altenew petal palette, like the porcelain one. Gorgeous. Mine's currently still covered in a bunch of like Altenew's tube watercolors. So I was digging through looking for other things, and I found this tray, and I was like, oh, perfect. It's just a place for me to put some watercolor on. Any non-porous surface will work. So for all my watercoloring, all I'm doing is getting each section. So like in the case of like this, I started with this largest floral. I'm doing one petal at a time. So I get it wet with water first, and then I am picking up the watercolor and painting. And because the area is wet first, things are going to move, they're going to start blending together. And for this large floral, I'm blending the three colors. I've got the darkest shade towards the edge, which is not something I normally do, but I was experimenting. So the darkest shade is lilac burgundy. The lighter pink shade is raspberry rose. And then the yellowy shade is golden ochre. So I've got the lilac burgundy towards the edge. The raspberry rose kind of in the middle. And then the golden ochre I'm keeping towards sort of the centers as sort of a bit of a glow. And then rinse and repeat. And for the actual brushes, I'm using Altenew's fine watercolor brushes. I'm using these in a lot of recent videos as well. And I like them. I like them a lot, you know. Again, I've got 5 million watercolor brushes. And I can't stop myself every time like something new comes across or just, you know, I just see it and I'm just like, ooh, add to cart, can't help myself. Did it with these ones too. Did I need them? No. But they were a decent little price and I genuinely like them because you get a set of 1, 2, 3, I think 5 come in the set. Yeah, 5. And the largest one, is that the one I was using? Yeah, is a number 6. So that's what I was using, the number 6 and the number 4. And then it goes all the way down to like a teeny, teeny, tiny, like very fine brush, which that one I don't use as often. I use the 2 biggest ones. But yeah, this would also be a good set, I would say, like with the brushes for, you know, those of y'all that are more beginners or just watercolor curious. This is a little good set of brushes that isn't going to break the bank. I've talked about that a lot, especially in my live streams. I've talked about, like, because you can get really fancy with watercolor brushes, really high end and really expensive. And I don't knock the fancy ones. I've got a few of them. They're beautiful. Love them. However, more often than not, I reach for ones like this and they work great. Anyway, I've super sped this up in editing. This didn't take a super long amount of time to do this whole image. I think it took me around half an hour, maybe. Other than like that main, like open, large, like focus floral that I did like all 3 shades. For all the other blooms in this image, I basically just did either some of the florals I did with just the lilac burgundy, the darker shade, and then the other ones I would do with the raspberry rose, and then I would add a bit of the darker shade just because I really like those 2 together, like the blend they make. And yeah, kept those ones just simple. Like wet the area, added the color, did a quick little bit of blend, moved on. And then for the little flower centers, I just used that golden ochre color. And then for my greenery, I used the mossy oak in the palette and added just a bit of that golden ochre color to it. And that was it. I didn't go completely overboard. Sometimes I really like to have fun with my greenery and really get to mixing colors and stuff, but there wasn't a whole lot of greenery in this, you know, so I was like, let's not overthink it. Let's just keep it simple. Like, it's just a pretty image. Let's not go nuts. I'll have plenty of opportunity for that with other things. So, painted those. And then for the little tiny little accessory flowers, I don't know what they're supposed to be. Doesn't matter. I just took the blue shade, which is Still Waters in the palette, and mixed it, and that purple it creates, love. So I used that, and I just kind of dropped it in, and then moved it around with the brush, and they're done. So after I was done watercoloring all of this, I let it dry, which didn't take very long. Wasn't adding a bunch of water or anything like that, so it was dry pretty quickly. I used the coordinating die to die cut it. And with the coordinating die set, there's also the sentiment, this friend sentiment and outline. So I die cut the word from Topaz. Yes, Topaz glitter cardstock from this Gilded pack. This was like one of the first glitter cardstock packs I think I purchased when Altenew released them however many years ago. I'm not even sure. I bought backups of that pack because I've used it a lot over the years. And so I die cut one layer from that. I die cut a couple scraps, like scraps of white cardstock with the word. And then the outline I had die cut from one of the new shades of cardstock, the Sandy Blush cardstock. And then stacking the sentiment together to build dimension. So 2 layers of the white cardstock and then topping it with that Topaz glitter cardstock, which always kind of freaks out my cameras. All the lights I have here in the garage just sometimes make glitter cardstock look a little weird on camera, but at the same time I kind of don't care because it's glittery and pretty and I like it. So I stacked them all together, adhered it to the die cut outline, and then I actually had to like die cut the glitter, like a scrap of the glitter cardstock, because in between die cutting and assembling, I did lose the tittle for the eye here of the glitter one. Figures. But that's why I keep all the scraps, man. I keep every single scrap. So, got it assembled, crisis averted. And then I used more sandy blush cardstock. And with this one, I used the piped floral lace 3D embossing folder. Like, just stop it. Like, it's gorgeous. It's ridiculous. Both sides of it. I was going to use it like upside down, the embossed image. So the debossed side is showing, but I end up flipping it over. I changed my mind when I started hearing things, but man, it's gorgeous. And I showed there on the screen my sandwich that I use with my Anna Griffin Empress machine and Altenew's folders. One cutting plate, the folder and cardstock, and the magnetic plate is what works for me. Depending on your machine and the pressure things, you might want to add a shim, like the metal shim or a cardstock shim. I haven't yet needed to do that. But I embossed that cardstock, ended up adhering it right side up, so the embossing is facing out, onto a panel of Acai berry cardstock. So I trimmed down the embossed background with my paper trimmer, and then added the matte of Acai berry, which I've been kind of obsessed with this color lately. It's such a deep, plummy, reddish purple color, like almost maroon, burgundy, those sorts of, love it. Anyway, I then used my scissors carefully. Always be careful when you're doing this. I used my scissors because I couldn't find my paper distresser. It's around here somewhere. It grew legs. It walked off. Always proof that I should probably have extras, because once they have friends, you never lose them again. Couldn't find it, but scissors works fine. I just, as I showed there on screen, running the edge of my scissors along just roughs up the cardstock. That's some old school. That's some old school card making. That's what we used to do back in the olden days of card making, when we didn't have wafer dies and all the ways to add texture that we have now. We would use scissors or a distressing tool and rough up the edges. Again, back in the olden days, back when we had to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow. It's a great way to add texture. And I don't know why. I always love doing it and making a mess. It's fun. So after I'd done that, I put foam tape, instant dimension foam tape for the win. This is the standard thickness of the foam tape, and popped that on the back of my watercolor florals, and then stuck that to my background. And then, of course, we're going to add some splatter. So I pulled out Altenew's metallic watercolor palette. And the thing you always need to remember with any metallic watercolor palette is metallics are different. They're not like your basic palette. Like the palette I used earlier to watercolor, you can just take a wet brush, touch that palette, you immediately get color payoff. With metallics, it's not like that. You need to add water and work it up. Either let it sit for a while, which I rarely do. That's why, I just sit there and swirl it with the brush until it's ready to go. But the water kind of needs to soak in a little bit to soften everything, and then you can get payoff. So I mixed a couple of the metallics together to get more of that sort of rose gold shade. So I kind of mixed one of the golds and one of the sandy colors. I don't have it right in front of me to know the exact names, but those are the ones I used. And then made my little custom mix, splattered that on the background. And then I added the darker little burgundy metallic shade to my little, I was just using the acrylic block, and I was splattering with the size 4 little watercolor brush, and added a bit of that as well, just cause it's just pretty. It gives it that little extra something. So once I'd added all of my little splattery bits, my card base is a top folding A2 white note card, so 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I put that also in my stamp wheel here, and I'm going to stamp that floral again. This time I'm going to stamp it with, what color of ink did I use? I had it right here. Here it is, Dusty Pink. I used Dusty Pink ink, stamped that on the inside, and then I chose a sentiment from the stamp set. Something I just love. I love is, not only does Altenew do just ginormous florals, which I'm always here for. But they pack the stamp sets with just tons of sentiments. So I chose a sentiment, lined that up, all my little random hairs getting in the way, lined that up, and that one I inked up and stamped with Acai berry. So a little matchy. So I stamped that on the inside. And I didn't film it, but while the splatter was drying, I also heat embossed a sentiment from the stamp set onto a scrap of that same Acai berry cardstock. And I heat embossed it with the rose gold embossing powder. So it'll just be a little sub sentiment here to the die cut sentiment. So I adhered the card front to the card base, popped the die cut friend sentiment into place. And then the sentiment that I had heat embossed, I had trimmed down just into a little strip, and then also popped that into place with some glue and a little bit of the foam tape. And then once that was in place, my little final bit of embellishment is some of the satin gold pearl dots. They're not an exact match to the rose gold like embossed powder, but it's close enough that it's not obvious, and it just gives it that little extra something. So these are peel and stick, which is always fabulous. So that's all I do. Peel them, stick them in place. And then once those are in place, this card's complete. So we've got just, I'm really into this like sort of dusty, like this sandy blush color with like the acai berry. Again, kind of obsessed with it lately. And these watercolor compacts and splatter and embossing, all the things. All my favorite things. So like I mentioned in the intro, I will have links to everything in the description box below, so you can just expand that and check it out if you are interested. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping and commenting, letting them robot overlords know you like what you see. I very much appreciate it. It helps a ton. And I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!